Alright, so here's my Akrapovic exhaust, and it's looking inside it. So the last video you saw on this bike on the exhaust is that I modified the insert. So let's look in here. I'm not sure if you guys could see this or not. I don't know if it's gonna come out on camera or on video. So you see the inside half. You see how it's like a blue color on the perforation. You can see that it's like a bluish color, maybe purple. So that right there is the heat, the oxidation of the steel when it gets hot, and that's near 800 degrees basically. That's probably around 750 or so degrees. And you see the outside half of the perforation. It's not blue. It's like a straw color. So that tells me it's around 350 degrees, 400 degrees. So basically, it's half the temperature, or the blue part is twice as hot basically. And you can see a very clear, distinct line right there, like right in the middle or so, where where the hot is, where the temperature difference is, the color difference is. See that? So that right there. Let's look at this. So on the can, anyways, on the can right here. So the bottom half is hotter and this half is cooler, right? After a ride, as far as touching this can, I can't touch right here. I could do this, and that's about it. It's really hot. That's as much as I could touch this without burning my hand. But here, I could actually leave it on here and not really get burnt. It's like, or I could leave it on here for quite a bit longer and not get burnt. It's not that it's not hot. It is hot right here too, but right here it's like instantly burned. I could do that, and that's about it. And here I could kind of leave it for a little bit longer. So that's right there, the temperature difference it tells you, right? So why it's right here is because why it's right here is because of my my insert that I put in. So that's what I had originally. Actually, I cut this down. All right. So originally the insert's in like so far, and all the hot gases goes in, and this end right here, there's space here too, but then the pressure builds up right here, so the pressure just stays right here. So whatever gases get right here, it just stays right here, and whatever gases go in here, because of the pressure here, it's not gonna. And there's a dead end here. There's no other passage, so it doesn't want to go over. The gases doesn't want to go over to this end. It just wants to go in here and shoot out this the exit. So it's hot right here. This part right here, because of the pressure build up, it stays a little bit cooler. Okay, so when I didn't have this on here, it didn't do that, and having this deflector right here too, the heat hits here and it just kind of flares out. So that's why there's a very distinct line. So before I had this in here, it was just a straight shot through. It would just shoot straight through, straight out. And when I looked inside here before, it didn't have the blue color. It's more of the straw color, So it was actually cooler before. Even though after like a long run, it was still hotter on this end than it was on this end, but it wasn't. I don't think it was as hot. It was. I could still touch it, but I still had to I could hold it there for just like a split second longer than it was after I did this insert perforation here. And as far as how this insert goes, putting this thing right here, it made it much quieter. It's still a little bit on the loud side when you get above 6,000 RPMs. It's a little bit louder, but it's not that bad. It's not really loud until you get to like 8,000 RPM. That's when you really notice it's really loud. But below 6,000 RPM, it's not so bad. As far as comparing the exhaust noise here to the wind noise with my setup here, prior to the setup, just being the straight up Akrapovic, it was just straight up noisy. At idle, it was real noisy. At any RPM, it was real noisy. And when you open wide open throttle, it was obnoxious. I just couldn't take it. So with this on here, at cruising, doesn't matter what speed you're at. It doesn't matter if you're doing 20 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour. At cruising, it's quiet. It's like it's a little bit louder than stock, but it's definitely quiet. Much quieter than wind noise. Wind noise was much louder. All right, but at whatever cruising speed, and also you just wide open throttle. That's when it was a little bit noisy, and it actually wasn't that bad. Below, depending on the direction of the wind, below 60, below 50, the wide open throttle would be definitely louder than the wind noise with the setup. And depending on the wind, between 50 and 60, the wind noise and exhaust was about the same, give or take. Depending if you have a headwind or tailwind. Headwind, wind is going to be louder. Tailwind, wind is going to be a little bit quieter, right? So that's why between that 50 and 60, it's kind of a wash. But above 60, with this on, even with at whatever cruising speed, and you go wide open throttle, this is still, I think it's actually quieter than wind noise. Wind noise is actually louder, so those are the RPMs. As far as speed goes, usually when you get up to about 8,000 RPM, that's when it gets, that's when it's kind of steps up in noise. And it's not that often that I'm above 8,000 RPM on this bike, because you're basically past the, I think you're about peak horsepower at 8,000 RPM. I think this bike goes up, it peaks out, it redlines at I think 10 or 10,500 RPM, but the peak horsepower is around 8. So any more than that, it just drops off in power. So there's no sense in really going above that. And the torque is even lower than that. So definitely no sense in going much above 8. You can if you want, but it drops off. So anyways, so that's that. So what you guys could do is, you probably don't have access to a perforation. What you could do is you could get some type of solid piece like so, and weld it right onto the cap here, and just drill holes into this. Don't drill too many holes. You need to drill enough holes to match just the surface area, the cross-sectional surface area. By the way, the cross-sectional surface area of the Akrapovic is, and I think I mentioned this before, it's double the stock cross-sectional. If you look at the stock diameter, it's actually not that much bigger. The stock diameter is like just under an inch ID. It's what was it? It was I think it was like 15/16 of an inch. It's just under an inch. And this one right here is like 1.4 inches, I think it was, around 1.4 inches. And so basically it's essentially it's about double. It's approximately double. I think just under double the surface area. So that's how much air, that's how much gases it flows. So that's one thing you could do. You could cap it off and drill this. That's probably would be the easiest thing to do. The least amount of effort. So this is what I did. So this is my version 1 modded insert. So that's version 1. Here's my version 2 modded insert. So basically I did the same thing with the perforations, but actually I shortened the perforations a little bit. I actually count the holes here. I have 4 holes basically along over here. I had some places I had 4, some places I had 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I actually had about 5, or close to being 5 holes. So I basically made it shorter by one hole, and the holes here are actually more than these holes. Even with only four layers, is actually higher than the opening of the Akrapovic. So two layers of hose is equal to the it's about equal, or as close as being equal to the stock, and the Akrapovic is about 4. So basically there's plenty of flow here. So it's not restricting flow. So I could have made it actually a little bit shorter, and I still possibly can do that if I want to. I could cut this thing down and make it like maybe 3 layers hose instead of 4. But anyways, I'm leaving it like this for now. Other thing I did was to reduce the opening of it. I actually welded in and you can see, I'm not sure you guys can see that. There's a solid, this right here is solid. Well, not solid, it's hollow, but there's no gases coming out of this. See, the other end is blocked, right? So there's no gases coming out of this hole right here at all. It's just completely basically blocked. Imagine if this wasn't a hole, if it was solid. So it's only gases only coming out on this outside part right here. And as far as the surface, cross-sectional surface area, so this outside part right here, the factory cross-sectional surface area is I think it was like 0.8 inches, square inches, 0.8 square inches. This one here is about double that. And with this plug-in here and only having this exposed is actually a little bit over 1 square inches. It's like I think it's 1.1 or just under 1.1 square inches. So basically I have less, and one of the reasons why I did that was to make it less, so that way it flows a little bit less, flow a little bit less gases. Other reason is, remember how sound wave works is that each time sound hits something and bounces off, it loses energy. So the more it hits stuff and bounces, the more energy it loses, so the quieter it gets. So with this insert in here, as the sound wave goes through here, it'll hit that little tube inside, and it'll bounce along from between the tube inside and this outside tube right here. It'll bounce in there. It'll bounce more basically. If I didn't have this at all, it won't bounce as many times. So those are the two purposes it serves. So hopefully this will actually be quieter, be quieter than this one. I'm not sure if it will be or not, because this one is, this solid section is long, so that means it has a longer chance of bouncing. Where this one is, well, it's about the same. Well, let's see. Yeah, it's almost the same length. You look at this right here and this right here, as far as bouncing goes. Well, actually, it's not this whole length right here. It's actually only right here. So it is still longer. It's almost double. This right here is almost double as this. So I don't know if I'm going to lose if this will make it louder or not. Maybe I should have shortened this up a little bit, but I'm going to ride this and see how it goes. But anyways, that's how my my setup is right now. And again, you won't know until you actually ride it, right? And you know how it performs. So shorten this up, and my main reason for shortening this up because I kind of wanted to use the whole entire thing instead of just the back section here getting hot and this section staying cool. I wanted the heat to be more distributed, so that way it's more even on the pipe, on the can. So hopefully that will help. I'm not sure if it does or not, because this section right here coming in here, when even though the gas flow is coming in from the back out like this, the sound wave could be coming in on this side too. The sound wave could be bouncing in right here before it goes out. So this having this extra length could also help it be quieter. Where this one with less of in here is less bouncing because it's bigger, and it escapes right away. So I'm not sure about sound wise. But as far as gas flow, this one should be just as much as the other one, except for because I blocked this up right here like this, so it's actually a little bit less. But it's still more than stock blockage. If anything, as far as gas flow goes, this one should still flow better than stock exhaust. So and I think this pipe, how they make it, how much gas it flows, I think it probably flows too much. I mean, it probably would run better if you change the fueling, but I'm still running the stock fueling. So so with the stock fueling, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna mess with the stock fueling at all, but with the stock fueling anyways, it's this will help because it's a little bit more restrictive, and not just the stock fueling, the exhaust anyways. It's not just the surface area, but you have to also think about the cat in it as well. The cat also restricts it as well. And also those those 3 chambers. Usually stock exhaust usually has 3 chambers. This one obviously is only 1 chamber, so much more free flowing than stock. So yeah, so that's it. I'm gonna put this on, go for a ride, and see how it goes. So if I don't do anything, I don't change anything, then you won't see another video. That means I'm pretty satisfied with it. If you see another video, just like when I made this one, and I said if you don't see another video, that means I'm satisfied with this one. But I'm mostly satisfied with this one. But this, I still want to take a little bit more off. That's why I made this second one. Well, I changed it. I made the second one. So if I'm satisfied with it, you won't see another video. If I'm not, you'll probably see another video. And what I would probably do is just basically make this section right here a little bit shorter. Instead of 4 holes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of 4, I'm gonna go 3 holes. Across, in depth, 3 holes instead of 4. That's about the only difference I would do. I think there's a possibility that I could go back to this one, cut this back off, and put this on back on. If this was like a lot louder, that would put this back on like so, right, like so, and make it shorter here, make it three holes. Then also use a little tube inside here as well, so that will really restrict it, and it has more bouncing, so that I know that for sure would actually be even quieter than this short little one. But I'm hoping this one would be quieter than this one is right here. If it is, that should be enough for me. I think I'll be okay with that. Alright, so that's it. Thanks for watching.